Welcome to part 4 of the Wan Li Cheng Ching tutorial. Today is going to be all about wall modules and how to bend them into some crazy shapes. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is take a look at the standard wall module right here. We're not going to spend a whole bunch of time on it because it's just pretty easy to do. But if you just want a set of straight walls, this is going to be the one you want to pay the most attention to, and later on at the end of the video, we'll do a more advanced discussion about how to bend these into some shapes. Simple angles at first, off horizontally and then vertically, and then both, and then rounding them off and all sorts of good things like that. But if say you've already built a, if you've already built a gatehouse right here. Let's actually go over here where we can see that. If you've already built the gatehouse, and in the last video you built the side tower right here to tack on beside it, the next thing we're going to want to do is build a series of wall modules. Now for the example right here, I built 3 wall modules in between the tower sections here. In other words, we have a gatehouse, a tower, 3 wall modules, a tower, and 3 wall modules. You can increase this to 5 wall modules, or 4, or 16, or however many wall modules you want to have. I wouldn't do just too many wall modules before you build another tower, though. But that's just me. But for that, if you want to, now remember for this, if you tack on to the previous things, from this block here and this block here, that's essentially the same sort of slice. So if you want to plan these out in advance, do remember to shave off a block on the end here when you're measuring things out to make sure everything is going to fit. Because this block here is designed to sort of squish into that block there in the next repeating wall section. So really the module ends right there, really. And then this block right here, like I said, that extra block is really this block back here again, repeating itself. We could actually further subdivide the wall if we wanted to. The real repeating section of the wall is actually from here to here. Because if we took a slice down of that and built that again, we would get this section here, and again here, and again there. But for that, we're just going to take a look at the entire complete wall module here. So let's just start doing the numbering. So this is going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19 blocks wide, or rather long. And then the width is going to be, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 blocks wide. And then you can see here from the filler blocks, if you want to double check the dimensions and measuring for all of that, you can do that here. I would suggest trying to plan out your foundations before you just start building everything. You can start building the gatehouse anywhere you want to, and then build the towers right beside it. And then after that, the wall modules are a little bit more forgiving, depending on their spacing. Like if you're off a 1, 2, or even 3 blocks, it ought to be okay. So the next section after that, we want to place down the die right here for the base. For the base blocks, and then for the next couple of sections, for 2, 3, for 3 blocks tall, you want to do the same numbering. You just want to extend it vertically upwards, like that there. And then for this next section, we want to extend up the cobbled deep slate, but cut back the diorite, just like that there. And then the next section is really simple, just straight runs of cobbled deep slate for the mortar. And here we're doing our, what should be familiar to you by now, is the alternating block pattern. And we're doing that by projecting forward some diorite, first in 3, 5, 5, and 3 sections with 5 blocks of cobbled deep slate, course, the back of this wall module is symmetrical, so it's exactly the same as you're building it on the front here. So we're only looking at the front of this. For the next section, you want to extend up the diorite to another block level, just the same. Next level after that, you've got another mortar level, 2 horizontal lines of cobbled deep slate. And then over here, we have 3 diorite sections of 5, 5, and 5. Just like so, and extend that up for a second block level. We can see right here what I'm doing with this is we're making sort of very large 3-dimensional bricks, and we're projecting them forward from the back plate of cobbled deep slate. So we can kind of get, we're using that for mortar, and we're using the cobbled deep slate here for the bricks. And all the bricks are going to be 2 by 5, except for on the bottom, of course. Alright, the next level after that, another mortar level of cobbled deep slate. And then back here for the next 2 levels, we are extending upwards our bricks again. Just like we did down here for this level, you're doing it again up there. And then after that, another level of cobbled deep slate. And then we've got the 5, 5, and 5 for 3 again, and extend that up for 2 blocks. Just like so, and you can see we're now repeating this level down here. We're repeating that again right up there. Now we're getting to the top of the wall section here, so we have a projecting forward section of cobbled deep slate. Just like that there. And then we have some projecting forward of diorite. Just like here. Note that it hangs over the cobbled deep slate a bit to support our crenellations that we're going to start building. The next level after that, we have another level projecting forward diorite, just like so. And we want to stack that level up for 1 block level, for a total of 2. For the next level after that, we are doing more diorite, but we're cutting it back a block level. And then here we're doing a level of cobbled deep slate, and this is going to form part of the top of our wall. The filler blocks there are for where we're going to be putting down the crenellations, which we're going to be doing right now. These are the tops of the crenellations. Once you do one of these, the other 6 are exactly the same. Next level of the crenellations, just a bit of diorite right there. Once you do one of those, the other 5, for a total of 6, are the same. Here we're joining the crenellations together with a bit of diorite here, and there, and here, and there. Like so. And then a bit more diorite on top of that to top out the crenellations. And that's all you need to know for a simple wall module. You can see here it's a pretty simple repeating pattern. There's nothing too crazy compared to what we did for the gatehouse and the tower. It's designed to be pretty simple. They're all full blocks. There's no complicated half slabs or stairs or anything for that. Because, you know, if you're going to be building the 10,000 lead long wall, you're going to need a lot of wall modules, so I elected to make them as simple on you as possible. Now, if you want to do, like if you're not going to be building this on a flat world, if you, well, I mean, conversely, you can do a bit of terraforming for your wall foundations, but if you want to have your walls wiggle around a bit, as the Wanli Chang Chang is known to do, we are going to want to bend the wall modules. So now here we have this wall module right there. This is a copy of that, except you can see down here, for every 4 blocks we want to shift back a block and place another 4, back and 4, back and 4, and then back and 3. Right there. And if we do that, we can see our wall module ever so slightly curves off to the left right here. Some of the filler blocks are going to end up poking outwards, but what you should do is just fill that with a bit of diorite. And if we extend that pattern onwards, we can see that we can get a longer wall section, just like so down here. You can see our wall is curving out a bit. Some sections are gonna look a little bit more messy than others, and that's just part of the game with Minecraft. So, but it's one of those things that if you look at it from a distance, you really don't notice that. too much. You focused more on the pattern of the bricks, which still seems to stand out a bit as well. And the crenellations aren't too badly mangled either in that process. Of course, here's that from the back as well. But like I said, once you do, I think the easiest way to do this is if you're planning out your foundations, is just go ahead and mark out 4 blocks, and then shift over and another 4, shift over another 4, 4, and then what was it, 3 again there. And then you remember I said this block here this block here is equivalent to that block down. Place my torch right. That block down there. So you really only have to build that much. So it's not going to be just a straight line of 4, 4, 4, and 4. You are going to have some sections where you're going to have to be placing 6 there where the wall module starts repeating. But if you want to, you can rigidly apply and just have that be 4, 4, 4, and 4, and keep going. And then you would just want to, when you got to this, you would just want to start shifting the pattern over again. All right, so if you wanted to get a little bit more aggressive with your walls, every 2 blocks, you can shift over as well. You see 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. Just like so here. We can see that our wall module curves quite a bit now over to the left. And if we did that for a longer length, this is of course the wall that we would end up with. Again, it doesn't look too badly mangled. Shifting the pattern over like that. That's one of the reasons this wall pattern is all made of full blocks, because it's a lot, it looks cleaner when you do that. Just like so there. Now, I've only illustrated patterns for shifting over for 4 and 2. But if you want to, I mean, you could if you want to. You could shift over every other block, or you could shift over 1 and then 2 and then 1 and 2 and then 1, you know. For whatever slope you particularly wanted to end up with. At the end, we'll talk about how you can do this for more irregular angles. Now, something a bit more advanced. So right here, we're taking all these examples. We're taking our original wall module we looked at right up there, the straight one we did all the slices for. And here, instead of bending it over every 2 blocks, we're bending it up. So you can see here, just right on the bottom, for every 2 blocks, you're then shifting up 1. See? Just like so there, and you're bending the pattern up this way. It's the same pattern. It's just going upwards. So like if you have a hill, or the beginnings of like, you know, an extreme hills biome or something that you want to start building your wall over, you can do that with this, and you can extend that pattern up for as much as you need it to go. So here is this is that right here. It's just copied 3 or 4 more times. So you can see here that, you know, you can have your wall go up at quite a steep angle if you want to. I think 2 blocks is probably the most I would recommend going upwards. You can, if you're adventurous, you can try and do every 1 block at a 45-degree angle, but I would honestly keep it around to 2. The reason for that is that down here on the stairs, we can take let's get a, oh, I need that. We can take a little half slab here. So like if you have some cobbled deep slate half slabs instead of these, you can put these in here, and that will let you walk up and down your wall with comparative ease without having to do, you know, without having to jump up every other block level like that there. And again, the pattern the bricks, it's a little mangled, but it's not too badly mangled. You can still see kind of what it's supposed to be, even going up at that steep of an angle. All right, now we've covered the basics of bending things horizontally and vertically, and now we're getting to the advanced topic where we're going to do both. So prepare yourself. So here we are, of course, I've taken the example that we just looked at, that we're going up every 2 blocks, just like so, except now, for every 2 blocks we go up, we're going over 1 block as well, just like the original example we looked at, right after we looked at the straight wall, when I talked about the first example, that we were bending it over to the left. Well, we're doing that again, except now we're combining that with building it vertically. So depending on what angle you look at the blocks here, you can still kind of see the brickwork. It's not, it's getting increasingly mangled, but it's not too badly mangled. You can still see kind of what it's supposed to be. And again, I think 2 blocks upward is the most I would recommend, because then you can still come in here after that and add in your half slabs of whatever material you're using, if it's not cobbled deep slate, to be able to walk up and down your wall as well. And over here is a bigger example of 3 or 4 of those modules copied and pasted together, what that would look like on a larger scale right here. So let's say you want to go up a hill, but you also kind of want to go over to the left when you're building that as well. And you can use this module here to do that. You can bend it to the right as well. I've just shown the examples here to the left, but you can use the exact same thing to bend it over to the right if that's the direction you want to go in instead. And of course, all this is included in the download in case you need to come here and look at it a little bit closer. Now for the final insanity of all this, we are going to take a look at if you want to bend your wall and have it be more rounded. So we can see here our wall definitely appears to be more rounded. It starts straight, then it wiggles over a bit, and then it ends straight over there. And I'll just give you the numbering for that. It's pretty simple, actually. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 5, and that's going to be another 7, and that'll be longer than that. So you can pretty clearly see there what I've showed you with the numbering on this. If you plan out your foundations ahead of time, you can pretty easily wiggle your walls around wherever you want to as well. You can kind of, let's get a little bit of altitude here. Now for that, it starts looking a little thin in the middle there. That's just kind of how Minecraft works. It can't really be helped unless we want to make our wall thicker in the middle, but then we would have to have different numbering along the back. I don't think, since you don't really see the walls from the top down that much, it's not going to matter, because you're mostly going to be seeing it from the side probably, and you don't really see that too much there, so I don't think that that's something we need to bother ourselves with. But we can see here on the back side, it goes straight, it wiggles around and goes straight again. Now this numbering I've given you here, you don't have to follow that particular number if you want to. You can make this even, you can make it you can make your wall wiggle around quite a bit more here than, you don't want to use that example, but just for the sake of example, you can make your wall wiggle around a whole lot more than what I've shown you there with this relatively gentle winding of that. It's just depending on how you want to lay out the foundation level where I put down the torches there. That's what you should work out first before you start building a wall section. All right, now for the ultimate insanity, we are going to take a look at what you do if you want to wiggle your wall around like that, but also vertically. Now, this here is more what the classic image of the Great Wall would look like. Of course, we would have it, wiggling all up and down the mountain peaks and everything. And for that, we really need to know how to do it like this here. You can still see, this is probably the most mangled version, but you can still see what it's supposed to be. Right here, we have a straight section. They both end in straight sections, but for this one, it goes up, but it also goes over. This section is looking a bit like a Snake Way, actually. And for this as well, some sections of here, you'd have to probably place stairs down, like right here, instead of half slabs, in order to make your way up and down the wall, if you wanted to be able to traverse it. But for this, all you really have to do for this example here, I've taken this right here, I've copied it, but for this section, every time that we have gone over a block to the left, we're also going up a block. So you can pretty clearly see here that every time we go over a block, we're also going up a block, and that gives us the rather pleasing effect of having our wall, sort of just gracefully wiggle around. And of course, all of this is going to come down to the exact shape of your wall is going to come down to how you plan this line down here, because the rest of the wall modules can follow that. So now I'm going to show you that. So remember at the first part when we were taking a look at this wall module here, I told you about how we can divide it up, and I've done that here. So if we take this wall module and we explode it out and put 2 or 3 blocks of space in between each section, if we look at this, we can kind of see how after a moment things start repeating themselves. So we can really boil down the entire wall module here to this right here. This is the repeating element of the wall right here. And it's symmetrical on both sides. So you really need to know how to build only this section of wall here. And down here, remember I've been doing this red or the torches down here on the bottom. So depending on how you place this, right behind it, you can just start placing down your cobbled deep slate and everything. And depending on how your wall, whether it goes this way, or whether it goes this way, or if it goes over that way there, you can use what is immediately right behind it here to place the wall modules. Now for the last part, I boiled that down till we have 6 wall modules here. These 6 patterns are the only thing you need to know in order to be able to replicate something like that insanity over there and have it come out looking pretty good. Now for this, what I have done for this little section here is I have taken this and I have divided it out into 6 block modules, just like I did over here. I've taken the first 6 that we had right there, and I've rotated them 90 degrees so we can see them in profile. Okay? And for this, for the last section, we are just going to take a look at it here, because we have the filler blocks and everything for all the measurements. Now, so if I wanted to build one of those things over there, I would, the first thing I would do is take, for the easiest example here, well, I guess we should take the crazy example, probably. So, now for where this torch is here, for that block of red, that is equivalent to that block right there. This slice, which is equivalent to this block right here for this slice of wall. So let's take a look at it right here. So this is going to be the first slice you are going to want to put down for your wall module. See where the red is there on the lower left? That corresponds to that directly right there. Okay? And there's 2 blocks of airspace between that and the top of the crenellation. I'll just mark that real quick. See? 1, 2. All right, for the next wall module, here is the pattern for that one. A pretty simple repeating pattern. You just need to start at the bottom and build it vertically, going straight up and then on both sides. So for this one, this module right there, that corresponds to the next block over right there. That next slice, and then that would be that slice right there. So back here, this is where you would start placing your first block of cobbled deep slate. Right behind there, which corresponds to that right there. Okay? Alright, I'm not going to beat that to death anymore. I think you can follow along with that. So for the third module right here, you would want to place down wherever you have your next survey line. You would want to follow that with the next block. And then here is the pattern for this wall module. So that's the third slice. And then here, now we're going to take a look at the fourth slice. Right there. This is pretty simple. I mean, it's just combinations of diorite and cobbled deep slate. Just like so. You can pretty clearly see all the filler blocks to help you get the dimensions accurate. Double check everything. Alright, this is going to be the fifth slice through the wall, right there. And then here is going to be the sixth and final slice. Okay, now once you get to the sixth slice of the wall, what you want to do is you want to go back to slice number 1, all the way back over here. And you want to build slice number 1 again. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Depending on however many wall modules you need before you get all the way, well, it's out of view, before you get to your next tower module over there. And then you can build a tower and then build whatever section of wall modules you need, depending on whatever you have done for your wall. Now, like I said, I think the first thing you should do before you start throwing down wall modules, what you can build first, you can build your gatehouse first and then a tower. But if you want your wall modules to do crazy things like this, what you should really do is get yourself a nice high contrast block, like you know, the red wool here is my favorite, and start planning out the line that you want them to go. I should also, at the end here, make mention that I would not go like if you want to start bending your wall around this, the pattern will break kind of if you start doing something like this, like if you start trying to go, you know, if you start trying to go like that, don't do that. It'll have a more pleasing effect if you only go 1 block over per wall module slice. In other words, what I've shown you here at the end, it's really designed for you to only go either to the right or to the left over 1 block at a time. If you go over more than that, some of the mortar and filler blocks on the inside will start poking out, and it won't have a very pleasing effect. And the Great Wall doesn't really go over at that sort of a steep angle anyway. 45 degrees is the most you should bend this pattern up and over at any one point in time. Which is, of course, you know, in Minecraft, this is that's 45 degrees. So you should only go over 1 block for every time you want to shift over the pattern of the wall modules. So I think that is about as much as I can possibly say about this. Like I said, it's going to require a lot of advanced planning and quite a lot of forethought on your part if you want to do the more advanced wiggling around walls and everything that I've described here at length. But if you want to do the straight stuff, that's pretty, it's very straightforward. So I think you probably got a good handle on that, and everything here is of course available for download and all that. So I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.